Today we are here for our lesson number 4. Before we go for our lesson number 4, we need to recall the 3 previous lessons that we have seen. There are many forms of verb, and in addition to the forms of regular and irregular verbs, we have be group verbs, we have group verbs, we have modals. We talked about transitive verb, intransitive verb, and then we went on to see subject, verb, object. Let's start with when we look at these lessons, we are not to think that just by listening to it once or doing it once you have absorbed the lesson, or that the idea has percolated your mind. You need to listen to the lesson repeatedly. If necessary, you have to go into the exercise book to look for examples, and only when you are clear about the basic concept, we can proceed further. We start from the last one, subject, verb, object. Let's take that example. Okay, in that simple sentence, the verb is teach. How do we know? Because we know the 3 forms: teach, taught, taught. Now, once we identify the verb, we ask the question, who teaches? And here, who teaches? I. I is therefore the subject. Similarly, we ask the question, teaches what? Teaches English. English becomes therefore object. As I told you in the previous class, majority of the sentences that you see, they take this structure: subject, verb, object. But you are free to extend the sentence by adding a place or time. Now, let's add to this. I am writing a completely new idea today. Suppose I write, Mr. Michael gave Miss Alia Mr. Michael's pen. I'm sure when you read that sentence, or even when you see that sentence, you find it little out of the ordinary. We usually don't speak this way. Why? It will sound clumsy. The language is not fluent. And to make it fluent, to make it pleasant to the ears, we change certain words. This word, that's my name, we change it into I. Write the verb gave. And this word, Miss Alia, change it to her. Again, here my name, make it into my, and then pen. Now read that sentence. I gave her my pen. Now it is fluent and pleasant to hear. What have we actually done to the sentence? We haven't changed its meaning, but we have changed certain words to make it pleasant. The words are I, her, my. These words are therefore called pronouns. Why did I take pronoun over here? Because we talked about object. Object always need not be things. Objects can also be people. And very often we don't use their names. We use pronouns. And therefore today I am going to give you a list which you are quite familiar, but I am giving it in a new light. We first make a column. We have a column there. Hope you can see the line. And here you have as subject, as object, and as possessor. Here we write subject, meaning thereby pronoun used as subject. Similarly, pronoun can be used as object. Pronouns are used as one more. I am writing here ownership. Now this idea will become clear to you once I write down a clear example. Suppose the word I is a pronoun. I am teaching English. I is the subject. So I use the word I in the place of subject. Suppose you are talking to me, and there to me is therefore object. Similarly, if I say my pen, my means ownership. I am the owner of the pen. We can also use it as sentence ending, and that is, this pen is mine. Of course, there are some grammar books, they will give you Latin names. This is called in nominative case. This object, they call it accusative case. But remember, object can be two types. We will be coming to that, meaning thereby you can have direct object, you can have indirect object. And when it is direct object, we say it is in accusative case. Whereas, if it is an indirect object, you call it dative case. So this can be used either as accusative or dative case. This is called genitive case. It tells ownership. Now there are other pronouns too. Let's write them now. I, and then you have we. The corresponding object will be us, and ownership will be our, and sentence ending will be ours. We can similarly use the word thou, and the object will be thee. The ownership word will be thy, and sentence ending will become thine. It can also be the word you. Its object will remain you. Its ownership will be your. And sentence ending, you will say yours. No apostrophe removed. And then you can have he. Its object will be him. Its ownership, you will say his. And sentence ending will also be his. Now these words, easy to commit to memory if you begin to use them as subject or object or as ownership. You will automatically find the words coming to your mind. We are written till he, and therefore we proceed further to write a few more that are left. If there is he, there will be she as subject. Her will be the object. Again, ownership will be her, and sentence ending will be hers. If it is he and she, the plural would be they. And object will become them. Possessive will be there. Take care of the spelling. T-H-E-I-R. And here it will be theirs. These are for living beings. You can also use it for non-living. It can be it. Object will be it. Ownership will be its. And sentence ending also will be its. Similarly, we can have interrogatives. For example, what? Remember? To find the subject, we ask the question what before the verb, and its object again remains what. To find the object, we ask the question what after the verb. Ownership, you already know, to be whose and whose. Now, what? We can also ask the question who to find the subject. We ask the question who before the verb, and its object. To find the object, we ask the question whom after the verb, and then we can ask again whose and whose. These are the common pronouns that we make use of. Now, why did I give them? I told you clearly. Because when we look at the sentence, it is not necessary there has to be only one object. There can be more than one. Let's make that idea clearer. This should be clear in your copy, because books, textbooks, grammar books may not give you in this form, even though you are quite familiar with all of these words. Now we are read it off. I am writing the same sentence. I gave her my pen. If you look at the verb is gave. How do we know? Because we know the three forms. Give, gave, given. So we know it to be the verb. Now the question is, who gave? I gave. I is the subject. But right now we are trying to see object. Ask the usual question. After the verb, ask the question, gave what? And obviously, you get the answer, I gave my pen. Therefore, pen is the object. Now let's be clear. This object, which is answer to the question what, is called direct object. We call it direct object. Direct object. Now why do they call it direct object? Because we can also have yet one more object here. I ask the question, I gave whom? When we ask the question who, this time you have the answer, I gave her. Her is also object. And I told you here the word her is used in dative case, meaning thereby indirect object. There is already an object and here there is an indirect object. How this lesson will be useful to you, soon we will see in the very next lesson. Right now, take any sentence and try and identify the verb and the object. Thank you.